And I'm here to do the Divine Feminine channeling, okay? Kind of change the setup. This is a little bit better, much better. Divine Feminine, go ahead and get settled in. I forgot to get some water. Real quick, real quick, real quick. All right, let's go ahead and get started, Divine Feminine. So, Divine Feminine, you and the Book of Monsters is going to be the message for this Divine Feminine update. It's been about 1 month or a month and a half since our last Divine Feminine update. And with this update, with this channel regarding the Book of Monsters, this is really about your personal Book of Monsters because all of us are battling different demons, right? But Divine Feminine, what's happening is you're realizing that you've been dealing with the Book of Monsters your whole entire life. People that you call karmic or a friend or a family or coworker, they're really what we've been talking about in terms of this Doromeki or this Nureona, or even when we were talking about even in the Harry Potter movie, like the snake Nagini or Peter Pettigrew, the rat that was really a rat. He was an infiltrator, right? You guys have been dealing with all these different type of monsters because what is going on, Divine Feminine, is you are in many ways responsible for the classification and the categorization of these entities, these demons from the Book of Monsters, because by doing so, you are actually going to end your, how would I say, you're going to end your sentence in terms of dealing with them. That's the last time that you have to deal with them again. So it may have been unfortunate when you were dealing with all these different trials and tribulations with all these different monsters, but look how much smarter you are. Look how you can identify. Look how you have so much deeper discernment. Look how you can identify a gray from a reptilian or whatnot. Look how you can identify a Nureoma from a Doromeki, right? How you can differentiate the different type of karmic energies and classify them so that when they come your way, you already know how to cut it off at the head, you see? Divine Feminine, though, some of you guys are dealing with some of these, you guys are going to come to the realization that some of these monsters that you're dealing with are old ones that you never dealt with, that you never really fully healed from, and that's why they're reintroducing themselves right now. Let me give you an example. Okay, my guide said not to give that example. Well, let's say, for instance, you deal with the toxic karmic masculine, narcissistic. You finally identify as a karmic masculine narcissistic. But eventually what ends up happening is you end up getting into a different situation with the similar karmic masculine because there was something there was a specific aspect of the classification that you were not fully aware of, or that it wasn't fully settling in. Some of you guys are going to be going back, time traveling in some ways, back into your consciousness to identify, okay, these different monsters that I've dealt with, do I understand them fully and completely? Do I really understand what they mean on the spiritual level? Do I understand what they mean on this level of the subconscious? Okay, then I can move forward. Some of the monsters that you guys are dealing with now, the Most High is really asking you, where have you dealt with this before? Where have you dealt with this before? Because we're trying to help you classify. We're trying to help you understand and classify this for the last time so you don't have to deal with this again, Divine Feminine. They threw the Book of Monsters at you, and you passed with flying colors. This categorizing and this classifying, Divine Feminine, it's also, if you think about this, these are some of the entities and things like that that your ancestors dealt with. So by you dealing with them in this now, in this moment, what's happening is it's actually freeing you and your offspring and your future ancestry from ever having to deal with these entities ever again. That's why you're dealing with this Book of Monsters. And Divine Feminine, you're on the last page. You are on the last page. And you want to know what the last page is? The Book of Monsters Within. Yeah. The Book of Monsters within. But you know what the funny thing is, though, Divine Feminine? That last page, you're going to write that with flying colors. Because for you to even understand all those other monsters that you were writing through and categorizing and identifying like some Pokemon game, gotta catch them all, right? You had to know your own self. You had to know your own inner demons. You had to know your own inner Book of Monsters. That's the only way. That's the only way. So now everyone, we're all on the same page in this book. You and all the demons that you're dealing with in the Book of Monsters, you guys are all on the same page. And you're on the last page where you get to sign at the bottom at the end of the book, sincerely, such and such. It's over, Divine Feminine. You've conquered the Book of Monsters. No longer will you have to deal with this energy ever again. It's done. So we're going to be going into the Goddess Tarot, okay? I'm going to be using, of course, we're going to be using the Work Your Light, and as well as the Chakra Oracle deck too. Divine Feminine, this Book of Monsters as well, these individuals, they don't even know that they're a part of the Book of Monsters, but they're going to be finding out real soon exactly what they are. They're going to get their definition. There's a name for that? Yeah, it's called Dodomeki. There's a name for that? Yeah, it's called Noraona. There's a name for that? Yeah. It's called Nagini or Peter Pettigrew or basically Lord Voldemort or Death Eater. Yeah, you categorized all of them. It's done, Divine Feminine. Dear bright and more loving ancestors, what messages do you have? The Book of Monsters. The Book of Monsters. That's why you're dealing with this, because you're dealing with the Book of Monsters. Your job is to categorize them and classify them, write them down, and then you're going to pass that on to your future generations, so none of them have to deal with what you have to deal with. But then for some of them, when they get to that point where they have to categorize and classify the new Book of Monsters, which we hope that that's not the case as we're going into New Earth. This is why we're doing this now. This is why we're going through this. We're categorizing and classifying them, but as we're doing that, we're exposing them and destroying them, because only the light of classifying and identifying can cast out the darkness. Right? So hopefully when we move to New Earth, this is not going to be a problem. But let's say, for instance, something ends up happening, Wheel of Fortune energy or Uranus unexpected, and your offspring have to deal with that Book of Monsters because you've already dealt with most of them. Your offspring are already going to have muscle memory of how to defeat them. You see the work that you're doing for future generations? Dear bright and loving ancestors, what messages do you have for Divine Feminine, the Book of Monsters? What is this? You got joy because it's over. It's over. You've done your job. You guys are realizing that you had a spiritual job. It's kind of like, and another thing with this Book of Monsters, your job too, it's like, Ash Ketchum with the Pokeball. Your job is to catch those entities, trap them, kind of like King Solomon with his sigils, trap them, and then banish them back to where they come from, banish them back to limbo, banish them to the abyss. But you want to know something too about Ash Ketchum? Remember, for those of you who are real fans, Ash Ketchum was really Professor Oak. Yeah. Ash Ketchum, as a young kid, remember when he met Professor Oak? He was Professor Oak. He was looking at his future self, Divine Feminine. So when you were going through all those different monsters, your future self was like, here, we're giving you this tool, we're giving you this tool, we're giving you this sword or this classification or this Pokédex or whatever to help you classify this, because your future self already knew you're going to get this, no problem. You just had to go through this situation as a type of initiation in some ways. But you traversed it. Look. But you remember the funny thing with the Ash Ketchum and Professor Oak, every time Ash would start a new journey, Professor Oak would be there like, hey, which Pokemon do you need? What tool do you need? Remember that? Yeah. Dear bright and well loving ancestors, what messages do you have? The Book of Monsters? You can learn a lot from these little kids' TV shows. You got renewal. Exactly. It's over. You're renewing yourself. Look, you got perseverance. Yeah. The worst is over, Divine Feminine, Ten of Swords energy. The worst is over. You have to go into that to clear out a lot of karmic energies, a lot of lack of awareness in the ancestral bloodline that was caused by conditioning or societal factors or just straight out brainwashing. Because these Book of Monsters is real. And had you not identified, you would have been walking around with your crown off, literally. Your crown off, not knowing what's going on, not knowing that you were being sacrificed, not knowing what type of demons were working in your life, not knowing why you were attracting certain people, not knowing why you were getting sick. Yeah. Now you know. Perseverance. You persevered through the whole entire ordeal, Divine Feminine. Remember I told you your future self there. Look at her as an angel watching you. Like, you're all good. You're covered. Look at this veil behind her. You're covered by this huge veil. You're good. We knew as a child you were going to have to go through this. And we've been preparing you your whole entire life. Think about some of the trials and tribulations you guys are going through now. Think about back in the things that you've gone through before. Think of the things that you went through in the past. Hasn't those situations prepared you for what you're dealing with now with the Book of Monsters? Yeah. So in some ways, Divine Feminine, with this renewal card, you're getting a new lease on life. But this is like, in many ways, it's like dealing with this Book of Monsters was like your ticket to your renewal, if that makes some sense. Because in order for you to have this new beginning, you have to destroy and defeat and classify, catch and banish all those Book of Monsters. So that when you go to New Earth, when you go to your new beginning, they're not there at all. Interfering, bothering, none of that. It's over. Let's keep on going. Divine Feminine, the Book of Monsters. Clarify joy for Divine Feminine, the Book of Monsters. You got the Tower. The Tower is here. Yeah, you defeated the three-headed demon. The three-headed demon of fear, of anger, of lack. Of whatever it is, or you defeated the karmics that you were dealing with. I remember we always talk about these karmics have hella different heads and they don't even know which one they're talking about because they're spiritual chimeras. They jump in and out of all types of stuff, or they're narcissists or sociopaths, or karmics from past lifetimes that's got all kinds of entity attachments on them. Different type of serpents and Neptunian and Saturnian and Mercurial, the Mars entities working on them all at once. Yeah, and you defeated all of that shit with the Tower here. Yep. Look at the funny thing is, you want to know the funny thing is about this Tower? This Tower card, this in this Goddess Tarot, look at them holding a crow. So with this also too, but you guys remember how the telepathic crow and how the crows have been giving us messages? This is another thing too. This is confirmation, Divine Feminine, on top of confirmation. How the fuck is the first card that we pull out, you got the crows here, excuse my language. You know? So that's exactly what I'm seeing right here. Clarify renewal. Clarify renewal. Yeah, joy because the Tower is here. Joy because your enemies have been defeated. Joy because all the demons. Look at all. If you even look at this Tower, look at all those entities laying on the floor with arrows in their back. Yeah, it's done. Clarify renewal. Clarify renewal, please. Book of Monsters, Divine Feminine. You got the Judgment. Yeah, this is powerful. You got the Judgment and you got the Death card with Kali Ma. You got the Death card with Kali Ma. And you know, Kali Ma's been one of our visitors on this channel before. But you want to know something here too with this renewal, with the Book of Monsters, Divine Feminine. Remember, in order for you to conquer this Book of Monsters, to get the necklace that Kali Ma is bringing you with the head of all your enemies, right? In order for you to get this, what you had to do was you had to go through your own Book of Monsters that was internal. Because look how she's reflecting into that water. She's looking internally within herself. Anubis right there at her foot, like, yes, you need to reflect. You need to transmute that energy. Remember, Anubis energy is Plutonian energy, Pluto, Death and Rebirth, Scorpionic energy. You have to go through that that painful dark night of the soul. Get to the bottom, be at the lowest of the low. Turn into ash like Fox, the Phoenix. Turn into the Phoenix. Turn into dust. There's four people in the chat as I say this. And then rise back again from the ashes as a new being. Yeah, renewal right here. Just to turn into the beast that's going to destroy your enemies. Just to turn into the right fucking one to destroy them. Just to turn into the one that's going to, with all those hands, that's going to gather all of those entities in the Book of Monsters. Yeah. And the funny thing is, you gathered multiple at a time. Classified, identified, destroyed, and banished multiple at a time. Pat yourself on the back, Divine Feminine. This is some bad bitch shit right here. Not having a fat ass, not twerking and stuff like that. I mean, that's cool, getting money. But look at this. Defeating Book of Monsters, classifying all them. Oh, I see exactly what that is. Oh, I know exactly what that is. Oh, I know exactly what entity planet that is. I know exactly what planet they're crossed by. I know exactly what type of spells that they're playing. All of that type of stuff. Yeah, Divine Feminine. Some of you guys have to go through that spiritual warfare too in order to, remember we talked about this, that Harriet Tubman channeling. Going through pain was the catalyst for her awakening. Some of you guys have to go through this game, the spiritual warfare and stuff like that so you can learn about the different spells, learn how to protect yourself. Because I'm sure you guys too, for some of you guys who are very, very intuitive, if you're like me, whenever karmics do spells on you, I see what type of spells they do. I see what the ingredients they use. I see how they configure everything. I see all of it. That's another reason why you have to go through that, Divine Feminine, so you can see what they were doing. Now you got spiritual immunity. Remember we talked about this, the spiritual immunity a couple months ago. We're going to follow up again. Yeah, Divine Feminine, your spiritual immunity is even stronger now after you defeated the Book of Monsters because you did something for the collective. Not just for yourself, Divine Feminine, or your bloodline and your ancestor. You did something for the collective, whether you know it or not. Because somewhere there's somebody not being harmed by these monsters because of you. Somewhere there's somebody getting exposed for what they did to other people and getting reprimanded. Somewhere there's somebody that can sleep and be at peace at night because their monster has been exposed or you've helped them identify them. Look. Clarify perseverance. You got the Queen of Cups right here, and then you got the Ace of Pentacles. That's why a lot of you guys are going to be having a new beginning. That's exactly what I'm seeing. And then you got the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Look at this with the Aztec. With the Aztec Mayan work right here. I remember we were talking about with this Book of Monsters. Some of you guys have to realize that these Book of Monsters, the only reason why you were dealing with them is because by them dealing in your energy field, that's what's sealing their fate and destroying them. Because remember we talked about this in the Mayan tradition, in order for you to be low-vibing and play games and stuff like that, you have to embody something that they call the spirit of suicide, because while you don't want to outright destroy and kill yourself, you have to embody that self-destructive energy to be lucid enough to do what you're doing, you see. So in order for these Book of Monsters, some of them to get sealed, it's an internal implosion process, you know. They had to work in your energy field to build up that self-suicide energy, that self-sabotage, and now they're imploding. That's why they have to keep on working against you, and it was tower after tower and game after game, and you were like, when is it gonna end? When is it gonna stop? The answers are like, nah, they need to destroy themselves. This is how we're using you to help let them destroy themselves, Divine Feminine. And that's why you're about to get this fucking Ace of Pentacles right here. Look how she's looking in the Ace of Pentacles with that cornucopia. She's blind, but she's looking at it. You did this blindly. You did this without looking for that Ace of Pentacles. You weren't looking for that new beginning. You weren't looking for that boost up or this luck, this windfall that's going to be coming your way for doing this work. Yeah, you weren't looking for that. This new baby that you're going to be getting, or this husband, or this whatever. You weren't, or this promotion by defeating and categorizing this Book of Monsters. You weren't. You were looking for blind justice, basically. Yeah. You were just doing what you were told and not even looking back before you turn into a pillar of salt. 555 people in the chat as I say this. Yeah. Yeah. You endured. Now you get to have this new beginning with the Queen of Cups. I believe this is Lakshmi energy, abundance coming your way, sweetness. I love this deck, yo. For us, Divine Feminine. Yeah, Empress right here. Yeah, Empress. This is where you're at now. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is how you've ascended now because of the Book of Monsters. The Queen of Cups there's nothing wrong with the Queen of Cups, but she's a queen too. Now you're an Empress. The Empress is all queens and the High Priestess as well. Yeah. So now, Divine Feminine, because you went through that Book of Monsters, your magician power is up. Your manifestation power is up. Your status as a woman in the spiritual realm, no one touch that. As a goddess, as a Divine Feminine, no one can touch that now. Look at that. Yeah. Let's look into this. Clarify the tower with the joy for the Book of Monsters, Divine Feminine. You got faithful, exactly, Divine Feminine. And because you were faithful to the Most High, that's why they're bringing the tower on your enemy's fucking heads right now. Like it ain't nobody's business. That's why you can have joy, because you were faithful to the Most High. So the Most High's like, okay, you did the Book of Monsters. All right, we got you. This is the deal. You did the Book of Monsters. You got them. You rounded them all together. You led them to the lake of fire. That's another thing too. Because remember we talked about this. These karmics playing with you. That's how they're getting led to their demise. Yeah, you did the inner work. You conquered those inner demons. You identified them. You classified them. Now you're good to go. Yeah, you can go to New Earth now. You good. Yeah, you got your free pass. You cleared a lot of past life karma, trauma too, ancestral trauma too, healed your DNA, raised it to the whole next level, went all the way up Jacob's ladder, even past Jacob's ladder. Now we on a whole new ladder where we don't even get to go down. There's no such thing as down. It's all the way up from here. Yeah. What's the death card and the judgment? Yeah, with the renewal card right here. Death card and judgment. You got the thoughts right here. You're thinking, how did this happen? How did I survive this? Because you did the inner work. And because you had ancestors by your side that were supporting you too. That were also helping to cut off the heads of these demons in the spiritual world and unravel them spiritually as well. The more you did your healing work and clearing work. Yeah, Divine Feminine, you're finding this out. You're finding out what's the contract that you have with the Most High. You do this, we do that. Remember we talked about this with Uncle Ben? The more tea you sip, the more tea they spill. I've been sipping my tea and you've been seeing this shit getting spilled all over the place. Like a tsunami. Clarify perseverance and the Queen of Swords. And then another thing too, you have to come into Queen of Swords energy, cutthroat, logical, discerning, unemotional, cold. You know, the funny thing is you had the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. These are very opposing elements. Remember I told you that I had a dream of a cloud descending in and out of water. Divine Feminine, it's kind of like you're the ocean, you're mama water. You can hold so much, but at the same time, you need that air. So it's kind of like you can still retain that watery nature, but remember when it's time for that air to come, there's no mincing what element you're going to be in right now. Absolutely no confusion. Now motherfuckers know your name. Oh, she can be the Queen of Cups, but you play with her, she gonna turn Queen of Swords real fucking quick. Don't play with her. Divine Feminine, now they know you. Now they know you. They know your element now. What's the Judgment card right here with the Empress? Yeah. Gift. You're getting gifts from the universe. Your spiritual gifts are enhancing. That's what I'm saying. You guys went in blindly to whatever battle or fight this was. Fighting the good fight. Not retaliating. Not scooping hella low like the Karmans do. And because of that, you're going to be having victory as well, because this kind of looks like some victory, like confetti and all that type of stuff. Yeah. That's why you're getting this. Gifts from the universe. Spiritual, material, gifts of emotional healing, gifts of being able to release ancestral trauma. Do you know how powerful that is? Gifts of being able to release spiritual husbands, guys. Look, you identified them. Oh, fuck, she found out about that. She found out about that? The spiritual husband, spiritual wife? Yeah. Damn, remember when we tied them into that ritual in the 1600s for that? And they've been getting one every lifetime? Fuck, they broke it? Yeah. Damn. How are we gonna get them again? It's not possible. Well, better go find another host. That's what's happening here. Now these demons, they know not to come fuck with you. Because all the ones that you captured in the Book of Monsters, they're like, please don't go fuck with her. Please, just leave her alone. Because we learned our lesson. That's what they're telling each other. Clarify the Judgment. Yeah, you got scholar. Exactly, Divine Feminine. Because you're a motherfucking scholar. Exactly. Because you have the keys to the streets, spiritually, emotionally, wisdom, resilience, integrity, common sense, Divine Feminine. And because you walked with all that and you practice all that and you have integrity and values and morals and ethics, that's why you're winning right here, Divine Feminine. And that's why you're about to see a lot of people deal with the Book of Monsters and they're going to get defeated by the Book of Monsters. Because this Book of Monsters that they're going to be dealing with is the Book of Monsters it's the internal one. You defeated the internal one and the external one. Powerful feat, Divine Feminine. Now these individuals here with the Scholar card, this Book of Monsters that they threw at you, they're going to have to deal with all volumes of it. Clarify perseverance with the Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. What's the Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords? Yeah, soldier, because you're a soldier, a spiritual warrior. Yeah, and you held it down. Yeah, and because you held it down, you're about to get like you're about to get these spiritual gifts. Yeah, and she held it down, so she got a Mercedes. Yeah, most times about to bring you a spiritual Mercedes. That's an upgrade to your Merkaba. That's an upgrade to your light body. That's the removal of damaged DNA. That's the elimination of contracts with spiritual husbands and spiritual wives and principalities. That's the tower coming to take off all heads of those karmics that are playing with you. Yeah, you held it down, so you got a spiritual Mercedes. Basically, you got all these gifts and perks and shit like that. That's why you have the ace, and you wasn't even looking for that. Oh, should I get these spiritual gifts? Okay, cool. Oh, dang, I can do all this and this and that. Yeah, I can read minds now. Yeah, I have clairaudience where I can hear whole conversations. Yeah, I can see things months before they happen. Yep. I can manifest things just by speaking into existence. Yeah, I can shift my income from 0 to 1,000 the next day. You sure can. Divine Feminine, you're finding out that these are now the gifts that you're getting as a part of defeating and dealing with the Book of Monsters. Now you're going to have something to look forward to for some of you guys who are still dealing with the last ends, the last couple of pages. Because I'm telling you guys, my guys are saying yes, and I'm getting goosebumps. For all of us are either on the last 2 pages or the very last page. I'm going to keep it hecka real with you. The last page or 2 or the very last page. It's done. Especially my collective, because we do the work over here. It's the healing for me. It's the dedication for me. What's the Ace of Pentacles? What's the Queen of Swords, Ace of Pentacles? Perseverance. You got the journey right here. It's been a journey for sure. It has been a journey for sure. You want to know something else here too with this journey, Divine Feminine, and its perseverance? Like I said, this was happening in order for you to get your crown. Because if you see in these two, out of all the goddess energies, these are the only 2 that are wearing their crown. Yeah. But the thing is, divine feminine, you already had your crown. It's just it became more solidified. It's like your crown got an upgrade and a boost. So now you got jewels in your crown. You have this like little like USB thing in your crown where you can like plug in like your crown chakra and do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like you're a whole like wave divine feminine. You're like a whole like how would I say? You're like a whole switchboard, a whole technology or a whole device on top of what you already are. More bells and whistles coming for defeating this and identifying and classifying this book of monsters and dealing with them accordingly. Some of you guys, your family was the book of monsters. Your coworkers were the book of monsters. These people that you call your friends, they were all the book of monsters and you identified all of them. Let's look into this. Let's keep on going. I'm going to be using the Work Your Light Oracle for this part. Wow, we're 30 minutes in. Dear friend, let me ancestors. There's 700 people in the chat. Let's go. What messages do you have? What messages do you have regarding the book of monsters, divine feminine? Yeah, divine feminine, off with their head. Heads will roll. And you want to know another thing, divine feminine? Heads are going to roll. Why? Because you're about to get this Ace of Cups, a new beginning. See how she has that cup? You see how she's looking? You see how she's like, drop down and get your legal on, girl. Hey, hell no, don't leave me alone, girl. Drop down and get your legal on. Divine feminine, drop down and get your legal on because you're about to be celebrating. Because you're about to have this Ace of Cups. And at the same time that you have the Ace of Cups, you're going to have the head of your enemies in one motherfucking hand. And then you're going to have a necklace of all the other bitches that try to try you around your neck. Let somebody try you, divine feminine. You're getting your keys to the streets. You earned your stripes. That's another thing too, divine feminine. Now, people know they can't fuck with you now. Oh no, don't play with her. Because before they thought it was a joke. Because you were calm and you were cool, collected. Then you went through that book of monsters. So you're like, oh, okay, I see what this is. Now it's time to beast up. Yeah, divine feminine. Nice for what? Basically. That's the part you're in their book of monsters. You're a spiritual warrior. Sometimes being a warrior is not nice. That's why the archangel and stuff like that, they carry swords. We talk about this all the time. Nice for what? Give them what they've been looking for. What messages do you have? The book of monsters, divine feminine. It says the initiation, rites of passage, crossing the threshold. Boom. Yeah. Look at this. It says creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Exactly, divine feminine. This is happening because you're a part of the collective effort to classify these demons and trap them in old earth so they don't get to come to new earth. Because some of them are trying to sneak under the radar, but we catching all of them, yo. We catching all of them. Imagine Dodo Megi coming with her long ass arms covered in ice, trying to wear a shawl. Like, yeah, I'm coming to new earth. Boom, we expose her before they get into the door. Imagine Peter Pettigrew kind of trying to stroll in like la da 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 on a whole bunch of polyjuice potion. Boom, the polyjuice potion, we make it wear off right before they get into the door. Divine feminine, think about all the powerful things that you've done by classifying this book of monsters. Even just for yourself. Now I know. Now I know. I'm not going to deal with that again. Now I see it. Now I know. Not going to put my foot in the same river twice. Yeah. Right, all of the ancestors. What messages do you have here? Divine feminine, the book of monsters. Oh, look, it says the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Didn't I tell you this? And then it says your guidance is divinely guided. Some of you guys didn't know if you were going to make it out of this. Some of you guys didn't know if you did the right thing. Some of you guys couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some of you guys didn't even know you were dealing with the book of monsters. But your guidance was divinely guided to destroy all of them and put them in their place. Bring the tower when you needed to. Put them on blast when you needed to. Get restraining orders. Do whatever the hell you needed to do. Put your baby daddy on child support. Report that karmic to HR. Put your family in your place and separate. Whatever it is that you needed to do, it was divinely guided and you did the right thing. It may have hurt in the moment, but that's what it needed. That's what had to happen in order for you to get that get your hand at that book of monsters or get its claws out of your energy field. Yes. Yes. That's what's happening here. But divine feminine, you've been training for this for lifetimes. That's why the Most High said, remember, I just told you to think about your childhood and other situations you've been through. You've been dealing with the book of monsters your whole life. Yeah. You're just not coming to the realization of, oh, that's why I've been dealing with this. It was kind of like the Olympics, the karmic Olympics before like the big ass game, if that makes some sense. Training for the Book of Monsters Olympics. Who can catch them all, bind them all, banish them all, basically. Yeah. And speaking of this Pokemon, gotta catch them all, it's reminding me of taxidermy. You guys know what taxidermy is? When people get like animals and they stuff the heads and pickle them or whatever, and then they hang them up on the wall. You're gonna have one of those of all your karmics, taxidermy, all across the wall. And everyone's gonna see the heads of all those stupid bitches that were trying to play with you, like I said, with the Kalima necklace. Yeah. This book of monsters. I'm gonna tell you right now, one of these karmics, they may try to make they may try one last time. That's done, High Priestess. Yeah, they may try one last time, but you want to see something, and that's done. Ancestors said that done. We're not even about to have that. Yeah, you got the initiation. This is your initiation. Your initiation into your keys to the streets. Your initiation into that get that spiritual Mercedes. And I know that may sound that's materialistic, but I'm talking about your Merkaba, your vehicle body, your light body. It's like think about like from a Toyota to like to Mercedes, right? It's like okay, there's different like upgrades and things like that. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to think of, because some people that's kind of the only way that they may understand. So you're getting that upgrade. You held it down, so you're getting that spiritual Mercedes right here. You cross the initiation threshold. It's done. Yeah, your chariot awaits you. What's the initiation? Yeah, the funny thing is, look at the deck. Look at this deck. What's that? The six-pointed star, the six-pointed Merkaba. Yeah. Divine Feminine, this energy tool, this is going to allow you to travel. When I say that the type of spiritual gifts that you're about to be tapping into, no ritual on this planet can get anybody these type of spiritual gifts, Divine Feminine. And the only way that you can get that is dealing with the Book of Monsters. That's why the Most High is like, you know what? This is going to be a little bit fucked up. It may hurt, but this is how you're going to get your keys to the streets. You want it karma-free, right? You don't want to have to sign no contracts, do no rituals, get peed on or some shit like that. This is what you got to do. What's the initiation? Or get your chakras blown open, sacrificing other people, which is hella karma. Yeah, this was going on. Karma-free, Divine Feminine. It's unfortunate, but remember we talked about this. Pain is the catalyst for the growth. Thank you for the super chat. What's the initiation? Look at this Queen, Nine of Pentacles energy. Yeah, for you to become self-sufficient. Yep. For you to become that self-sufficient individual. Yeah, healthy, standing your ground. The Nine of Pentacles is just one step down from the Empress, and the Empress is already out here. That's why the Nine of Pentacles is here. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why you had to go it alone too, Divine Feminine. A lot of you guys, you had to go that journey alone. No, it was for you and only you, because that spiritual Mercedes is going to be for you and only you. Yep. Those gifts, that husband, that baby, that job, that promotion, all of that's going to be for you. That vindication just for fucking you. Only you. And people couldn't help you on this because they themselves don't even know what the Book of Monsters is or their own internal Book of Monsters. How could they help you, Divine Feminine? That's why you had to get isolated. For some of you guys who had to get isolated. That's why people didn't understand you. 777 people in this chat, because this is a path that only you can forge. Now look at the path that you opened for a whole bunch of other people, Divine Feminine, or your ancestor or your future children, to not have to deal with this stuff again. What's the initiation? Crossing the threshold? Yeah, Hermit, boom. Yeah, Divine Feminine. That's why this had to happen. Yeah, that's why this had to happen. Yep. That's why you have to get isolated and ghosted and outcasted and all that type of stuff. Because also people have to see the Book of Monsters, how they operate in real time. Because these karmics act slick. They lie, they cheat, all this stuff. People have to see the type of monsters that they were dealing with in your karmics too. That's why it had to be like this. That's why you have to go it alone. Yeah, you see Anubis right there. Yeah, Pluto energy. Even though the Hermit is Virgo. This is also Bodhisattva energy. And Virgo is considered the Bodhisattva a lot of the time. So Bodhisattva basically is people who are in the Buddhist tradition are supposed to go into hell to help people out to make it to a state of consciousness that is likened to enlightenment. But this is the thing, Divine Feminine, you're a Bodhisattva in the reverse too. You take people out of hell and then you bring people back into hell that need to get trapped and stay there. That's why this is happening too, Divine Feminine. You're the Hermit. The Hermit has all knowledge, all internal knowing. Yeah. Now another thing too with Divine Feminine, you're comfortable with being by yourself. You've broken that template of codependency. Because I can do bad, all by myself. That's the Nine of Pentacles on the Hermit card. That's how I can do bad all by myself. Yeah. Drop down and get your ego on, Divine Feminine, because the shit is over. It's over. You defeated the karmic energies. You defeated low vibrating energies. Look at this. Toxic karmic masculines getting put in the desk. Oh no, baby, I'm bigger than you ever know. Look how she's towering over him. You had to defeat too, for a lot of you feminines, you had to defeat this past life tie to toxic karmic patriarchy, especially with all the Capricorn trines that's happening now. That's why for a lot of us, we've been dealing with these toxic karmic men, because this is shit from past lifetimes that they tied themselves to us through what they did to us through harming us violently or through sex or whatever. They followed us into this lifetime. That's why you have to break that fucking chain. Yeah, that's why this had to happen, for you to permanently break that chain and that bond, so that you can have next lifetimes to be free, and your Akashic records free of trauma and karma and nonsense. You shifted your whole fucking energy field and DNA and destiny. Yeah, you shifted your Akasha. That's why it says the Akashic record. You shifted your Akashic record. You cleared it all out, removed all the stains and all the forged and false contracts. You cleared it out. And you're a scholar. That's why you got the scholar right here. And you even see them with the skull right there. Yeah. All the plots and plans that these entities and familiar spirits and principalities had to follow you into this lifetime got forwarded. Because you identified the book of monsters, right? And you're just sitting there like, okay, I got that one. All right, I got that one. I got that one. Okay, cool. It's kind of like collecting, like, when you collect baseball cards, or you guys remember when we were little and Pokemon first came out and we would all fight over the Lunchable box because the Pokemon cards were on the back of the Lunchable boxes. And we used to fight so bad over those, and people would collect them. We would have these little plastic binder sheets. Yeah, and then we would put like you collect like little pops, like the little round things. I'm sorry, I come from the generation before technology, so we like stuff like that, like paper and cardboards and playing games and things like that. So, anyways. Uh, you guys remember that, right? When we used to fight over those type of things, you have a book of those, like souvenirs that you collected. This Pokemon card, that Pokemon card. Oh, I defeated a Nariona. Oh, I defeated the Jezebel Spirit. Oh shit, we defeated a Energy Harvester. Shit, we did a good job. Yeah, Divine Feminine, you did a good job here. That's what the ancestors are saying right here. That's why I had to go like this. Clarify Akasha. You're so welcome. Yeah, Lisa Frank too. Yeah, collecting stickers, all that type of stuff. Clarify Akasha. What is this right here? You have the Page of Pentacles right here, Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. This is your divinations and your tarot readings and the dreams that you've been getting. A lot of you guys were not wondering, was what I seeing real? Is this true? And you see how she's kind of sitting there with the scroll right there? She's like, baby, this was written several lifetimes ago. You good. Didn't I tell you your ancestors are like, we knew that this was going to happen. We already been prepared for you. It's like the example that I gave with Professor Oak. He was Ash in the future. So he already knew that his younger self was going to go through this battle. So he came back and time traveled back to give Ash the Pokedex, to give Ash the Pokeball, to teach him how to fight, to give him Pikachu and his Charmander and all his other animals too. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you, man, yeah, your guidance is divinely guided. Yep. You knew exactly what you were doing. You knew your readings, all that stuff. Didn't I tell you guys, watch readings from like a year ago or 6 months ago or 2 years ago, whatever, reading your personals or from your favorite readers, the ones that you saved. Then look at the cards. Don't listen to what they're saying. Look at the cards and then listen. And my guides are saying that your guidance is divinely guided. It was supposed to go like that the whole time. Clarify Lumeria, heaven on earth. You got the Knight of Swords. Yeah, moving quickly though. Moving quickly. And you see here Bast with the Ace of Wands. Yours about to have a new beginning. Why? Because you have integrity. The Ain't is about integrity. The unification of man and women here too. Some of you guys have to also deal with the Book of Monsters because the Book of Monsters is the reason why you couldn't be with your twin. Because those Book of Monsters were too tied into the energy of your union. From several lifetimes, attacks, karmic masculines and feminines on all sides. That's why it had to happen like that. Because right here, you had to take that sword and just cut through all of that fucking bullshit and mess, that fuckery and that bullshit and that mess. Yeah, you see how that sword that she's on on this horse, and the horse is like, get out the motherfucking way. Look at the horse like, move. Look at that dude to the side like, you could have said excuse me. I'm not about to say excuse me. We got demons to defeat. Get out the way. Anybody that's in your way, off with their head. That's what I'm seeing right here. Heads are rolling, divine feminine, right now from past lives in this lifetime, because these principalities did not think that you were gonna catch you into the game. Does she know that this is Dodomeki? Does this karmic know that this is Nirvana? Does this karmic know that this is Moloch? That she's dealing with this Moloch Federation? Does she know that this is the Minoan snake goddess cult in the reverse? Does she know? Does she know that this is Zazel? The demon entity from Solomonic magic that grants karmic love spells? Does she know? Okay, she found out. Dope. Because you're a scholar, divine feminine, you focused on your studies. Even if you didn't know their name, you knew that there was a supernatural force working through them. I see what type of demon this is, and I'm going to categorize you now. I may not know the direct name. I may not know that it's a Dodomeki or a Noreona or something like that, but I know exactly what you are, boo. Yeah. That's why this had to happen, because there was too much karmic energy between you and your twin. That's why all these people had to go, they had to get removed, all that type of stuff. That's why the sun is right here, right? In order for the illumination to shine, in order for the vitality to come back. 888 people in the chat, I said that. 888 people in the chat, come on. Yeah. Look at these pyramids all up in here. This is also too like, because to me, like the pyramids are basically like tools that were used to channel high vibrational energies onto the planet Earth. Because the womb is also a pyramid, but it's just upside down, inverted. So now what's happening here, divine feminine, is remember I told you that you turned into a portal. You're Merkaba. You got that spiritual Mercedes. Now because of that, what's going to end up happening is you're kind of like a charge. You're like an archetype. You're like a prototype now. The way that your energy field is set up, you can walk into certain places and see people who are struggling or who need to be on this path, and you can just give them one touch, give them one download, and they can also too go out and fight and defeat their book of monsters and help other people. So Divine Feminine, it's like the Most High was using it to do a job that's going to ripple throughout time way more than you understand. I don't think you understand the impact that you're a hero, Divine Feminine, in the spiritual realm, to your bloodlines, to your ancestors, and they're so proud of you. You have no idea how this ripple effect is going to go. What's the Queen of Swords? Or no, what is this? Akasha? No, what is this called? The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Yeah, spiritual warrior. Persevered. You persevered through all the drama. You persevered through the gang stalking. You persevered through the slander. All the different things that they were conjuring with their mouth. Each one a different entity and monster. You handled all of that stuff. And you want to know, at the end of the day, all that went right back to sender. Yeah, it did. And you want to know how it went back to sender? And then you got a necklace too with their head. So they died twice. Lake of fire. What's the Age of Light? What's the Age of Light? You've been training for this for lifetimes. Justice, exactly. Yeah, you were training for this for lifetime to bring justice, Ma'at energy. You've been training this for lifetime because remember, you are justice personified. So in past lifetimes, you see how she's holding the gavel above his head, that man? This is also too with this Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. The ancestors, the goddess council knew that the toxic masculine force would be way too out of balance. So they sent you in this lifetime with the perfect gift and energetics configuration to defeat them. Because you see how that man has his head down to her as she's weighing the scale over his head. Divine Feminine, another thing that you're coming to realize is by defeating this book of monsters, you officially have your title as judge in the spiritual realm. Judge, jury, and executioner. My guy said, yeah, in the spiritual realm. And that's not by you enacting anything. That's just by you, okay, you know what? I call judgment with the judgment card here. Why? Because you looked within yourself. You're the crone, you're the hermit, you're the grim reaper. And this is in a way that people don't understand this. It's like, no. You're not leaving the planet, boo. I've just called judgment on your bullshit. The Most High is going to deal with you. They're going to remove you with the Scythe of Saturn. You see that with the Ace of Swords, clarity and truth? Didn't we just talk about the Scythe of Saturn? The Scythe is everything that cuts away. The Scythe cuts away anything that is a blockage to impurity. The Scythe belongs to Regulus, the regulator. Regulus is Leo energy. And look at this. Bast, Leo energy too. The cat with the sun right there. Yeah. Vitality, the sun energy. Yeah. You did it, Divine Feminine. You cut away. You took the Saturn side. You're Regulus, the regulator. You're like, no. I'm not about to deal with this. I'm not gonna have this. This is not gonna go how you think it's gonna go. You got up with your ancestors. You got suited up and booted up. Cleared your energy. Did what you had to do. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Justice. You've been training to bring justice for people. You've been training to call judgment on karmics. And because you went through that book of monsters. And that purified your energy field, and that solidified your integrity. Now the ancestors are like, good, you're gonna get to do the work for us in other ways now. So now that's what I'm saying, that this spiritual authority is gonna materialize now, Divine Feminine. That's another thing as well. This spiritual authority that you obtained by defeating the book of monsters and classifying them, and defeating your internal book of monsters and going through that, this is gonna lead to the material authority that's coming with the Ace of Pentacles too. You see how she's blindfolded, and she wasn't even looking for it, but she got it anyway. She already knew it was in her hands. She was focused on the mission at hand, training for lifetimes to cut away all impurities. Yeah, you were the only one to get the job done. They didn't know another that could cover for you, Divine Feminine. But you want to know something here too? That's why you're going through this, and that's why you're getting rewarded. Now a lot of you guys are coming to the realization that it had to be you that had to go through that. It had to be you. It had to, for you to teach people a lesson. It had to because you were strong. It had to because you know certain knowledge and information that was going to protect you and help you survive and get through it anyways. It had to because you're smart as heck and you already knew how to deal with karmics. And you already defeated Dodomakis and all the Neuronites and narcissists or sociopaths before. So now you just did it again. You've been doing this for lifetimes. You've been dealing with toxic family members. Now you want to go deal with the toxic workplace. Oh, I know what type of animal you are. I know what type of entity you are. I've dealt with you several times before. Now you know how to deal with it. Some of your karmics are wondering how you did it. By minding your business and learning. Let's get into the Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin, thank you so much. This has been a very beautiful channeling, very powerful high vibration of Divine Feminine. You've defeated the book of monsters, and now you can always just go back and look and laugh now. Now it won't be now it won't be something scary because some of you guys are triggered too by some of the old book of monsters too. But let me just tell you right now, that's being resolved. You're not gonna be scared. You're gonna look back with bravery. I earned my stripes. Yeah, I got a wound here and there, but I earned my motherfucking stripes, and I'm gonna wear that with like a badge. Yeah, you earned your stripes. Your wounds are now your badges. You're happy to show, yeah, I got that wound in this fight, defeating a whole principality of Neurionas. Heck yeah. Serpent bitches. Dear bright and loving ancestors, what messages do you have for the divine feminine? What messages do you have? The book of monsters, Kuan Yin. Book of monsters. Book of monsters. You've got the 10 Sisters of Light. Interesting. Kuan Yin, what messages do you have? Book of Monsters. We defeated the Book of Monsters. Kuan Yin, what do you have? This is the sacred Yangtze River. And it says Dynasty of the Divine Mother. Exactly. What did I tell you right here? We got 33 and 8 and 25. Let's see, Sisters of the Light. It says you are an advanced soul and have lived many incarnations. Shone your light through many different faces. Your soul has learned many skills in past lives, developed abilities and talents. This lifetime is a culminating lifetime in the sense that your soul is drawing together potencies developed over many lifetimes into unified expression. It is like drawing on the power of 10 sisters or more into your one current lifetime. Be prepared to grow and shine, beloved. What is it? Wow. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, look at this again. Your soul has learned many skills in past lives. You've developed abilities and talents. This lifetime is a culminating lifetime in the sense that your soul is drawing together potencies developed over many lifetimes into unified expression. Divine Feminine, didn't I tell you that because you went through all of this stuff, defeating all these different book of monsters and stuff like that, you freed a lot of karmic energy, traumatic energy from your bloodline, from your DNA, from your ancestry, so that you can better manifest in the now? Didn't I tell you that you're going to be getting an upgrade to that? You're getting that spiritual Mercedes, that Merkaba, that light body? It says, be patient, open, and trusting of this journey. It is an intense time of spiritual growth, as in the integration. There is also shedding of old issues or pain that no longer serves you. Yeah. What did we just say? No longer being afraid to look at that book of monsters. Now you're laughing at it. It is good to let this go. You are being asked to encourage the activation of past life abilities in your current lifetime by letting go of past pain and issues. Even if you are not conscious fully of what they are, through releasing pain with the breath out of the heart chakra and anywhere else in the body or energy fields, you intuitively feel to do so. Wow. It says this oracle's also guidance that you're okay. This oracle's also guidance that in your life at present, there is a past life pattern or contract strongly operating. Didn't we talk about this? By defeating that book of monsters, you broke those low vibing past life contracts. But this is also a part of your contract in this lifetime, because with the Lemuria, you've been training for this for lifetimes, to defeat these low vibrational karmics and the demonic energies that are working through them. Wow. The 10 Sisters of Light. You have various skills and talents that you can enjoy. Powerful. Divine Feminine, you have the power of the 10 Sisters of Light. All of them different talents, multi-talented, multifaceted. Yeah. And you learned this and you gained these skills by defeating all these different book of monsters, because some of them have different ways to skin the cat, really. Not all of them perish the same way. The only wish of the divine Mother Goddess is that all beings be spiritually free. The Divine Goddess calls us to realize our true nature, to fall in love with our own divinity. Enlightenment is a culmination of many small steps, each one as a drop of water forming a divine ocean of peace, realization, love, and unity within us. An ocean that washes away fear, separation, and scarcity, and bathes us in abundance and bliss. You carry the torch of enlightenment within you. Let it shine each day. Wow. It says this oracle indicates that your spiritual legacy is important on this planet. What did I tell you, Divine Feminine? You don't know what you created by defeating that book of monsters or whatever battle that you were fighting. You fought the good fight. Even if you guys think that that's not a big battle that I'm fighting, I'm just dealing with my child's father going to child support, or I'm getting a divorce. Those are big battles. Think about how in past lifetimes, or maybe your ancestors, they had a hard time standing up for themselves. They stayed in toxic relations, or they allowed anything to happen. They people pleased. Think about that. You've broken a lot of chains right here, Divine Feminine. And it says here, remember we talked about this? Each one is a drop of water forming a divine ocean. Didn't I tell you that you're the divine ocean right there? But you're also that twist air. This says here, this card is also guidance not to fear your spiritual path. Wow. It says you need to surrender ideas about what enlightenment may look like or feel like to realize where it is already merging within you. You're also going to receive guidance about your spiritual practice on a daily basis, or you may start a daily spiritual practice. That's what this is saying, the dynasty of the Divine Mother. Powerful. Now, let's go to the sacred river Yangtze. The sacred river Yangtze eternally flows and changes. Just as the river flows and changes course, you too are evolving in your divine path. Veils and sheets that once covered your soul light are being washed away. Cleansing by sacred water specifically indicates that your emotional life and your life direction are being purified and healed. Changes in the flow of energy within you and in the momentum of your life path unfolding are imminent. This is exciting. You are growing and changing, and soon your life circumstances will reflect your inner revolution. Did it? Oh my God, Divine Feminine. I love this deck. Yes, this is also happening so we can find each other for emotional support. Yeah. So think about this. Like, if you guys weren't going getting gang stalked or stuff like that, you wouldn't be on this channel finding people in the chat too, you know? So think about that. Like, how many dope connections have been created and stuff like that. I know a group of feminists that they created a prayer group. I know other two feminists, they became friends. Now they travel with each other and stuff like that. Yeah. Think about this. But didn't I tell you too? Veils and sheets that once covered your light are being washed away. That's what with this book of monsters, you kind of have to go through that, because remember, by them playing with you, it really just destroyed them. But it also says here too, you are growing and your life circumstances are going to reflect your inner evolution. Didn't I tell you that this inner work that you've done this spiritual authority is gonna manifest in the material realm very soon, Divine Feminine. And then people won't have shit to say. Maybe in the past you were a good person, you were enlightened, you were strong, but you just didn't have fun. Now you're gonna have that. Everything's gonna be balanced out. That's why the Six of Pentacles wanted to come out earlier too in the Goddess Tarot. Oh, I'm happy to be here for all of you guys. Wow. It says the sacred river is an extension of the intelligence of the Divine Mother, right? You are an extension of the intelligence. You are basically used as a pure vessel for the Most High, Mother, Father, God. It says you may notice that people are more attracted to your life during a time. Be careful. You are holding more light in your being. You got an upgrade. Didn't I tell you you got that spiritual Mercedes? So you upgraded from that Toyota to that Mercedes now. You got a whole lot more room, a whole lot more bells and whistles. You can drive faster, all that type of stuff. That's what this is saying right here. You are holding more light now. People are going to be fearful of some of these changes, this upgrading your spiritual authority. Don't down yourself for anybody. That's why with the Hermit energy and the Nine of Pentacles, that's why some of you guys may end up being isolated and alone as you enjoy this spiritual authority. Because it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who don't want to see you do well. Divine Feminine. Powerful. So, Divine Feminine, that is what I have for us for your channeling. The Book of Monsters. You defeated the Divine Feminine. Congratulations. You did something very, very, very powerful. I hope you all enjoy this. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye.